Welcome back to the news at 10. There was a heated argument at the Code of Conduct Tribunal today over the ownership of a property allegedly bought by the Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki from the federal government. The Senate President is standing trial for alleged false declaration of assets. Under cross-examination at the proceedings, the prosecution witness, Mr. Michael Wetkas, told the tribunal that the property sold to the Senate President was privately owned. This was contrary to earlier claim by the witness that the property was bought from the Presidential Implementation Committee for the Sales of Government Property. Our correspondent Amaka Okafo reports.
The trial of the Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki for alleged false declaration of assets at the Code of Conduct Tribunal continued with the cross-examination of the prosecution witness, Mr. Michael Wetkas, by the defense. On the cross-examination, the witness testified that from his investigation, he was able to establish that number 15A and B McDonald Street is the same as number 15 and House 15, Flat 124. He was then told to read the letter by the second bidder on the property on number 15 McDonald Street, Ikoyi, One Energy Marine Limited. According to the letter, the company pointed out to the then Minister of Works and Housing and the Presidential Committee on the Sales of the Federal Government Property that besides the land on ground being different from the measurement on paper, the numbering of the houses were ambiguous. According to the letter, the properties were labelled number 15A and B McDonald Streets, Ikoyi, behind another number 15. As such, there will be a need to make clarifications. He admitted that as investigators, they did not invite Energy Marine Limited, the second bidder, to explain the letter. He also admitted that he saw the letter before now, while he said he did not visit the property to clarify the discrepancies. When asked if based on the letters he went to inspect the discrepancies, he said other members of the investigation team visited McDonald Street and reported to him. He also said that when the other witnesses in the case take a stand, they will be in a better position to explain. But when one of the members of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Mr. Williams Atanze, asked him how he came to the conclusion that number 15 and block 15 McDonald Street, Ikoyi, were the same as number 15A and B as declared in the asset of the defendant, he said although he was not conversant with how houses are numbered, but as an investigator, he relied on the report from the Lagos Land Registry and the Presidential Committee, which listed the houses as number 15 and block 15 McDonald Street, Ikoyi. Reacting to the day's proceedings, the prosecutor accused the defense of deliberately trying to delay the trial in the way and manner it is handling the cross-examination.
If you are saying that we are lying, let us prove everything. Finish with our witness and let's call the next one. They are cross-examining my witness on the landed properties, on emphasizing on the property, when the witness who is coming from the land registries are there to come and answer all these questions. But and asking wrong questions, asking IPO questions that are not within his knowledge. So these are the things why I'm protesting.
But the defense disagreed with him.
You see, each of the counts is critical. You could actually convict or punish the defendants based on any of them. And therefore, it would be irresponsible and stupid of us to presume not to cross-examine on any of those counts. Don't forget, this is their main witness. He's the one that has come in and has tendered all the documents. And we need to present those documents and to cross-examine him on the documents that he had tendered before the courts.
The tribunal adjourned to the 17th of May 2016 for the defense to continue the cross-examination of the chief prosecution witness. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
The National Assembly has postponed its planned resumption of plenary scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, May the 12th, to Tuesday, May the 17th, 2016, and that's according to the Deputy Clerk to the National Assembly, Mr. Benedict Ifeturi. The Senate and the House of Representatives on May the 5th suspended plenary to allow federal lawmakers from the People's Democratic Party attend the party's Congress. Tonight, our community report takes us to Bekwara local government area of Cross River State. Residents in that area, most of whom are farmers, are crying out as they say they lack basic social amenities.
Now you're talking.
It's a journey of about 7 hours from Calabar to Abochiche, a community in Bekwara local government area of Cross River State, south-south Nigeria. With a population of over 100,000, the people here are predominantly farmers and traders. They live every inch of their lives doing what they love to do best. The warm ambience welcomes visitors to the community, which is reckoned for its rich delicacies, such as the Bekwara moi moi and beans cake, known as Okenga in the local parlance. Few kilometers from the Abochiche ever-busy junction lies the popular Ugidi Market. Put up over 3 decades, the Ugidi Market, which opens every 5 days to customers, has continually served as a food reservoir to different states like Benue, Akwa Ibom, River State, and other adjoining communities.
Bekwara local government, I'm not mixing words. It's like the worst local government in Cross River State because there seems to be no infrastructure at all. Is it electricity you talk of? There's nothing to write home about. Is it pipe-borne water? Nothing to write home about. Is it the market? The little market we have here is being the pride of Bekwara people.
As strategically placed as the market is, it lays hold to no modern infrastructure. The traders have through the years lived and endured harsh conditions to make ends meet.
Since they say we should not buy foreign rice again, we produce local rice here. And this is where they carry it to go and sell in other places. But we don't have anywhere to stay.
A few minutes away from the market is a tekpa, still in Abochiche local council. The community is in dire need of potable drinking water. The residents scramble to get water from the tap, which is the only source of potable water.
All others are not functioning except this one. This water here is being pumped by the solar power. And if we have to fetch, it is when the sun is up enough to bring out the water. And people come from far and wide to come and fetch here.
The state government is not unmindful of their challenge. It wants the people to exercise patience as it finds ways to meet their demands.
I want to assure all our traders in that particular market that this government under our governor is committed to making rural life become urbanized.
The people of Abochiche are, however, waiting patiently to feel the impact of government and see that their community is transformed for good.
Now you're talking.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Wilder.
You first. First Bank.
Hello and welcome to Business News. Nigeria's oil production is set to fall to its lowest level in over 2 decades. That's after Royal Dutch Shell's local operation said it had shut a major pipeline. Shell Petroleum Development Company declared force majeure on Bonny Light crude exports on Tuesday after closing the Nembe Creek trunk line, which carries all the country's crude for repairs after a leak. The outage pushed oil futures higher, with benchmark Brent crude trading 3.49% at $47.11 a barrel. Nigeria was due to export around 217,000 barrels of Bonny Light crude in June from a total of 1.7 million barrels per day. Africa is still rising despite the slowdown in economic growth rates, but there are growing calls for more focus on young Africans who are at the heart of driving digital transformation.
Business News anchor Harriet Agbenye gives a summary of the first day at the ongoing World Economic Forum meeting in Kigali, Rwanda.
Wow, day one at the World Economic Forum Africa meeting here in Kigali, Rwanda has come to an end. Of course, most of the conversations today started on connecting Africa's resources through digital transformation. That's the theme for this year's meeting. And there were growing calls, of course, to empower the youth to grow digital transformation. There was also a conference that focused on health. And the Minister of State for Health from Nigeria, Dr. Osage Ehanire, was actually part of the panel of discussants. He talked about community health and what the federal government is actually doing in terms of encouraging one primary health care center in every locality. And with that number, they're hoping to reach more people who are yet to get very good health care. Also talked about the National Health Act, which is trying to encourage more health insurance for those in the rural and urban area. We also saw conversations that focus primarily on how to grow Africa. Yes, there are challenges in most African countries right now because of the cyclical downturn in commodities market, but then the conversation is look at this fall or look at this challenge right now as a way to build yourself. From all the sessions that were held today at the World Economic Forum Africa meeting here in Kigali, Rwanda, the message is very clear. Africa is rising, not falling. The growth potentials in Africa is very immense. How can you achieve this growth potential? You have to use your youth, the young people, the young Africans. These are the talents, but how can you harness the talents that you have is to make sure that your education system is at par. Look at the Western world, take what the Western world offers, but look at it how it fits into the context of Africa. Africa as a whole is is on a different paradigm shift. And so as much as possible, what needs to be done is to harness the potentials that Africa has and surge ahead in this digital age. From Kigali, here in Rwanda, I'm Harriet Agbenye, reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, that's Harriet Agbenye there. I'll bring you details on the first day, bringing you details on the first day at the ongoing World Economic Forum meeting, focusing on harnessing young African potentials. And now approval has now been given for the payment of 4 Naira 80 kobo dividend to the shareholders of Nigerian brewers. The owners of the company gave the approval at the listed company's 70th annual meeting on Wednesday. The board members also revealed some of their strategies to secure profit in the medium term.
Ranked as the giant of the brewing industry, Nigerian Brewers is proud to hold its annual meeting here to approve the 2015 financial accounts.
On the agenda
Following the acquisition of Consolidated Breweries last year, the stock exchange listed company recorded a revenue of 293 billion naira and a net profit of over 38 billion naira. The performance record offers shareholders an opportunity to applaud their directors and management.
Look at the earning per share. It was 4 Naira 82 kobo. And out of it, you have decided to give us 4 Naira 80 kobo, which I regard as very good.
Mr. Chairman, you are paying about almost 8 billion shares. You are paying this dividend. We are not talking about number of shareholders. It's very, very commendable.
Not resting on its oars, the chairman, Mr. Kola Jamodu, provides an insight on the role of backward integration of the business.
Even before the advent of this currency shortage, we embarked on a gigantic program of sorghum value chain, which we use to brew our product. Also, we're looking very, very actively into cassava value chain.
The ordinary and special businesses of the day were executed, but what does the future hold for the brewer?
At the year 2016, even though it will be tough, we will try, we'll put the next strategy in place
to maintain a market position. We will not lose market share.
We've started the year well, and we just hope to produce great results and then again surprise the shareholders next year around this time with another very firm dividend proposal.
Thank you very much indeed.
Despite a decline in profit, shareholders of Nigerian brewers will enjoy over 38 billion naira in total dividend after a 9.5 billion naira interim dividend paid in October last year.
It's the second day of negative trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange as market indicators slipped by 0.07% in today's session. Temple Ashaju tells us more.
Hello and welcome to Stock Market Reports. The bears continued their reign in the stock market as the key benchmark index was trimmed to 25,630.62 by 0.06%, with the total market value slipping to 8.81 trillion naira. The market breadth appears healthy by 31 gainers to 20 decliners, and Tiger Brands took the lead by 10% to close at 5 naira 5 kobo. Champion Breweries and Diamond Bank drew at the finish line by 5% each. On the other hand, Wema Bank dipped 8.8% and is followed by Caverton as well as John Holt. In 3,538 deals, investors transacted on over 198 million shares for 1.60 billion naira, but not without the recognized volume traded on FCMB, GT Bank and UBA. And that's the Stock Market Reports. I'm Temple Ashaju.
Thanks a lot, Temple. Mixed earnings, consumer spending concerns, and oil prices dampened global equities today. Let's have a look at the closing numbers. That's business news tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. The rest of the news at 10 continues now.
You first. First Bank.
Bharti Airtel Africa, a leading telecommunications service provider and the world's largest social media platform, Facebook, have announced the launch of free Basics and Facebook Flex services here in Nigeria. At the launch in Lagos, Airtel and Facebook say the move is an important milestone in making internet accessible to every Nigerian on the Airtel mobile network, regardless of social status.
Representatives of Facebook, the world's largest social media platform, and management and staff of telecoms giant Airtel hosted members of the public and the press at this event in Lagos for the launch of their latest services, Free Basics and Facebook Flex. Top management staff of the two brands explained the idea behind the initiative.
It's meant for anyone who probably is not sure what Facebook offers. You want to try it for the first time. You got a very light version of it, and once you show you love it, you're willing to pay slightly more. Same thing for the Free Basics. It's meant for you to have the experience, because sometimes if you don't experience something, you don't know what it's worth. If you experience something, you're probably willing to pay slightly, something different, to get a better experience. So we're removing the entry barriers to this inclusion, because we want everyone to have access to internet.
When you're on a free mode, after a certain period of time, we reduce the number of images and videos. So we take the heavy stuff away from Facebook so that you can have a lightweight experience. And then when you want to get rich media, pictures, videos, and so forth, then you can turn on the paid data, and then you can experience the premium experience on Facebook.
This sounds exciting to the audience, and it generated a number of questions, including Facebook's choice of Airtel.
When we came up with the idea that we need to connect more people across the world onto the internet, and we sat down and we said, hey, two of the biggest barriers are accessibility right? And affordability and awareness. Sitting down with the Airtel team, they had the same mission alignment that we did. And that's why you saw us launch almost 2 years ago, first and foremost with them in Zambia. All right, and that's why this special moment, right? 2 years later here in Nigeria, one of the biggest, I call it the heartbeat of the country or the continent, launching with Airtel is meaningful for the relationship.
To enjoy the services, subscribers can dial *141# and follow the instructions, or visit 0.freebasics.com for free basics and 0.facebook.com for Facebook Flex.
Next on the news at 10, Africa's football ruling body CAF approves new format for continental club competitions starting from 2017, and that's on sports. Please stay with us.